Hey there everybody, Phil here for AndroidCentral.com, and we are bringing you the brand new HTC Droid Incredible 2 on Verizon. Just released today, it'll be out Thursday. So here's the deal, you got a 4-inch touchscreen that's a tad bigger than last year's model. Up top we have a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, that's new. You'll see the earpiece there, it is black, it is no longer red, I'm sad about that. Down at the bottom you have the usual Android capacitive buttons, home, menu, back search, cool, good to see. Down at the bottom you have your microphone, that's what you will speak into. And on the left hand bezel you have the volume rocker and you have a micro USB port. Up top you have 3.5mm headphone jack and the power button, so pretty standard fare, nothing on the right. The first thing I really noticed when I picked this up, I mean it feels familiar, right, if you've ever used the Droid Incredible, but this thing has a little lip on the screen and it's really bugging me, and I'll probably get over it I guess, but really stood out. The back has that same kind of iconic, I call it a plateaued battery cover. It looks just like the Droid Incredibles from last year. You have an 8 megapixel camera with dual flash, and there's your speakerphone speaker ringer speaker thing. So you've lost the red accents on the earpiece and on the camera, and I'm actually pretty sad about that, but I'll just have to get over that too, won't I? Let's open the battery cover up and see what we're dealing with here. That's nice, you can get to the micro SD card without having to remove the battery. It's on the left-hand side. That is good to see. One thing to notice about the battery cover here, you'll see these two holes down on the bottom, and there's another one up on the top. Those are actually connections for the antennas. They are not extra microphones. We've gone through this with the Thunderbolt, also by HTC, very similar, but they are not external microphones, right? So let's take out the battery here and see what we can see. That is a 1450 milliamp hour battery. There's a SIM card. So this thing does not do LTE, which also requires SIM cards, but it is a world phone, so you can take it overseas to Europe, wherever they use GSM. Here in the United States, you won't be so lucky. You're not going to be able to pop in an AT&T SIM card on this thing and get it to work. It'll just work on Verizon, so you'll have to deal with that. Let's power them up here and see exactly what we're dealing with. You're going to see how long it takes to boot up. The specs are not all that increased over last year's. You've got a gigabyte of internal storage. That's a little bit different than last year. Last year had weird partitioning going on. What else? You've got a 1 gigahertz Qualcomm processor. Again, very good. Build quality is excellent. It's HTC, right? No surprises there whatsoever. Got Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN, just like you would expect. 720p video recording. What else? It weighs 4.8 ounces. Actually feels very, very light. Feels nice in the hand. I really do like it, even though it's a little bit bigger than last year in the original Droid Incredible. So we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see, and here we go. We are booted up, and surprise, surprise, it's HTC Sense. And I love Sense, don't get me wrong. It's not the newest version of Sense. It's not 3.0 or any of that newfangled stuff we are seeing in the Sensation and in the Flyer and some of the really, really new hardware. But you have the same look and feel. You have your giant clock, you have widgets, all very, very familiar. This is kind of I call it the interim build. It's the second version of Sense, really. So let's see exactly what we have on the phone here about. And we'll go to software information. Android 2.2.1. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. It's time to get gingerbread on these phones, guys. Really, we can't have Froyo on a phone that's being released in April 2011. It's a little ridiculous. Like we said, so we've got we've got an 8 gigabyte micro SD card in there, and we've got about 1 gigabyte of space left over on the phone. So you probably won't run out of room anytime soon, but it will be something you'll need to keep an eye on because you don't have, 8 and 16 gigs like you've had before. Settings, nothing out of the ordinary here. You're going to have Wi-Fi tethering, you're going to have USB tethering, which is nice to see, but no VoIP calling, at least not yet. Sigh. Gingerbread, where are you? Where are you? Let's go back to the home screens and walk through them, maybe. Again, very, very familiar, very similar. Nothing on the far left. You've got your usual widgets up top and some tips and maps. And let's check out those tips, actually. So let's see. You can do that, and you can drag, and cool. Hey, that's kind of handy, though. I like how they did that. That's nice. Get rid of it by just touching away. Let's see, you got the Google search bar, a whole mess of Verizon apps. Oh. All right, we do have a data counter, so that's nice, that's handy. And you do have Skype Mobile, and we'll give that a thorough run through later. Let's see, the usual apps there. You have your favorites. Those will be favorite contacts. I'm not actually logged in yet. FriendStream for Facebook, Flickr, and Twitter, and another blank screen. You got your little easel to bring you easily to the settings. So this is Sense, which means you have scenes, so you can have whole different groups of home screens, which is really cool to see. I love that feature on Sense. HTC has done a really nice job with that. What else? You have skins, if you want to skin things a little differently. Very, very cool. Have to play with that later. But right now I just want to leave things normal, so let's go back. Whole bunch of options here. You can change your ringtones, you can change your notification sounds and your alarm, so it's nice to have all that stuff in one place. Here are the apps we have installed. 3G mobile hotspot, good on you Verizon for that, though you will of course have to pay extra. Hey look, there's City ID, can't get rid of that, can we? What else? Let's Golf, that'll be a stub app. NFL Mobile, Need for Speed Shift, all the usual stuff. There's Peep, that's HTC's Twitter client, and a whole mess of Verizon Vcast apps. The app drawer here, it's a little, different than others you might have used. It doesn't just fluidly scroll all the way through. It kind of goes page by page. And you have starred apps, and you have Verizon apps, and downloaded apps, and very, very cool. So there you go, guys. A very quick look at the new Droid Incredible 2 on Verizon.